What's up, everybody? A Truth Teller here for Newscaller.com. I had the opportunity to run across Rick Roelle at the CRA meeting last week. This is what he had to say. Typically, I have a saying amongst my circle. You typically know how someone's going to pretty much serve the public in higher office based off of how they perform locally. Mm-hmm. Okay. You've been in office for many years prior. You're a former councilman.
I did 8 years in Apple Valley.
Right. You're very solid as to what the ins and outs of local government, right, more or less. What is your prize jewel from the town council that you are most proud of?
You know, what it is I always supported the average person in Apple Valley. Okay. And big issues in Apple Valley when I first got elected back in 2004 was land use issues. And people in Apple Valley, they wanted to protect their lot sizes and have a little bit more rural flavor to Apple Valley. And I really held my ground on that and never wavered and continued to get reelected based upon my past performance. And I always supported the little guy. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Let's say that you buy a house and you bought your house on, and next to your house was vacant land, and you were a smart man, and you go, okay, well, zoned next to my house is one house per 1 acre. And I'm on 1 acre, but there's all this vacant land, but it's zoned through this city council, 1 house per acre. Well, then somebody comes in and buys that land, an investor, and they come to the council and they say, well, I want to change it now. I want to put 3 houses per acre. I want to flip it to commercial. And if somebody came into the council when we had those hearings and they lived in that neighborhood, they said, listen, I'm opposed to this. I always took that person's side because they bought first and they knew what the land was used for. And then the guy who bought it, he knew what the current zoning was too. So if he wants to build on it at the current zoning, but don't come in and try to change it because it affects other people. So I always supported the residents.
That's a good answer.
That was my best.
That was your best quality?
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. Yeah. Now, what would be something that you it was a gray area for you that you would have liked to maybe rescind it, if there was anything?
Oh boy. You know, I think maybe the issue of you know, it took a while to get your feet wet when you're in the council because you're learning. You know, there's all these different agencies, redevelopment agencies. There's all these different issues with zoning and stuff, and it really, if you're not on your toes and you don't understand the issues, then you can be left behind. And it took me a while to kind of really see where things were going, but I don't really have any regrets. Really, I don't think I've ever voted on anything that I had a regret that I would have changed my vote later on.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Stay firm to your convictions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I can't. There's nothing that really jumps out at me. It was just trying to, and it really takes you like 4 years to really to really know what's going on. You know.
I put a flyer out on my Facebook page, on the Newscaller.com Facebook page, about this bill tonight. And I had got some private messages, and here is one of them here. It's just kind of paraphrasing. They would like you to comment, reference the Town of Apple Valley Climate Action Plan that was adopted July 13th of 2010 that you voted on. There's a lot of up in arms about that, apparently.
Yeah, that was considered like Agenda 21 and stuff. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. And so what we did is, I think what we needed, why we supported that was because if we, and here again, you know, it's the state holding you hostage for state monies, you know, and...
Well, clarify for the people, because they don't know.
Yeah, well, because it's been now 4 years, so I'm trying to remember exactly what was in, what that it was that we passed, but I do remember it was very controversial because it kind of goes against the grain of you know, free enterprise and allowing people to do what they want with their own land, and you know, the whole Agenda 21 is a really huge issue. So that was one small part of it, and you know, we were accused of, you know, being supportive of Agenda 21.
Right, well, the Agenda 21, that's like the nasty term now. There's Vision 2030, is it 30 or 35?
Yeah,
or something
35,
like that.
yeah.
You know, the smart growth, et cetera.
Well, we were told by, our staff and by legal staff, we hire outside legal counsel, that if we did not support this, that a lot of funds would have been cut off to the town, which would have benefited us, such as grants for law enforcement, road improvements. So there's a big picture behind the whole issue.
The bike paths and all that.
Yes,
stuff,
you had,
right?
the bike paths, the horse paths and stuff like that. But, I support that kind of stuff because people in Apple Valley, they love their ruralness,
Absolutely.
They love to ride their bikes and they love to ride their horses. So to me, it was a catch-22 there, but it was some benefits to it at the same time.
Now, just for the public to understand, what are some of the benefits prior to you leaving office that you saw was a result of this vote?
Well, we were able to put in bike lanes down Apple Valley Road.
Okay.
We were able to put bike lanes down Kiowa Road when we did the road widenings.
Okay.
We were able to put in some bridle paths and some newer developments that came in. So there was, and we were able, really, bottom line with that, we were able to preserve some open space. And open space is not a bad thing if people can use it for themselves. It's not locked up.
I wasn't really aware of it, so I had to do some research in the last couple of days on it.
Yeah.
But I looked at. There's a PDF on the website on the town of Apple Valley.
Oh, okay.
So all the info's on
Yeah.
there. And verbatim. It talks about the greenhouse gas reduction, et cetera.
It's that whole.
And what was the trip about it? There's actual verbiage, verbatim, from the UN documents.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So here's my question to you. Who lobbied the council? Was there anybody that lobbied the council to get that vote through?
Not that I'm aware of, other than staff, towns, people that work for the town. The staff lobbied us and said this is a good thing, and here's the reasons why. Well, you got to take what staff says with a grain of salt, because they're getting paid full time.
Right.
As a council member, we're just volunteers basically, trying to make policy decisions based what we think is the best thing for the community. But it was pushed by staff, and we were given this story that if we don't support it, then what I just told you about, funds for grants for law enforcement, bicycle paths, open space, road improvements, the state would say, well, you're not on board. And I believe there's only one city that I can, in this area, well, it's in Southern California, that takes no state or federal money, and that's the city of Indian Wells, where, they're very affluent, that the average income is over $100,000 a year.
And their city manager gets paid very well.
Yes,
there.
so they don't need any of that, to make their improvements. And, when we live in a town about the valley where the average income is, less than $35,000, and we're trying to build a nice community on top of that, sometimes we need that outside source of monies to, have good public safety, good fire, good roadways and things like that. So
We're getting short on time.
Yeah.
We're going to start in 5 minutes, so I'll just close it out real quick. We'll get off of that topic, but the only thing for me personally as a voter, I was curious as to who lobbied the council on this one particular issue, and this is why I say that, because if you win, and you're in Sacramento, you know it and I know it, there are tons of folks that walk those chambers.
believe me, I've already met.
Exactly.
There's about 500 different packs up there that have a dog in that race.
Exactly.
And they all want something.
Right. So my thing was, if you're easily swayed on a local level, I'm afraid on a state level. What do you have to say about that?
Well, you got to look at it on how it benefits the entire community and not just a certain group. Okay, so to me, good roads, adequate law enforcement, adequate open space is a good thing.
I'm going to let you go real quick. Who do you like on the sheriff's race? McMahon or Schrader? I'm a Schrader supporter.
I'm
Who you got?
neutral on it.
Oh, you killing me on that one. All right.
Really? I swear to God.
If you notice, after the question in regards to the Apple Valley Climate Action Plan that was passed in 2010, he pretty much blamed everybody else, state, staff, legal, etc., except for the council members themselves. I don't know. You're going to have to decide for yourself if he can be trusted in Sacramento as a result of this vote. Also, the question in regards to McMahon in the sheriff's race, and he stated he was neutral on that. He said he really was, and I honestly don't believe him on that one particular issue. He's an employee for San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. And I think he's probably for McMahon. I kind of find it hard to believe that he's going to leave that vote empty. He's going to vote for somebody. If he is a Schrader supporter, he needed to come out publicly and let his voters know. So I think as a result of those two answers, I don't think he's going to be the right person for the 33rd district. I'll go on the record. I'm swinging for Michelle Ambrosic, but this is definitely not a hit piece. He answered the questions on his own, didn't spoon feed them, but you got to come correct on the Truth Teller Show. So just remember, everybody, it doesn't matter if you drink tea on the left or coffee on the right, just don't drink the Kool-Aid. And boy, there was a whole lot of Kool-Aid running around that room that night. Peace.